Hi everybody, I'm about to take you through the new People tab for the new updates of Google Classroom. And so you're going to be going to classroom.google.com and you're going to open up one of your classes. Now that I'm in my class, I can see that new navigation with Stream, Classwork, and People, and we're going to go ahead and click the People tab. Now we are very used previously of having our Students tab. Don't worry, this is now your Students tab, except for the difference is you manage both teachers and students here, as opposed to students in the Students tab and teachers in the About tab, which we know is gone now. So a couple of things when you first come here is we're going to look at adding a co-teacher. Here I can see that I can add another teacher by simply typing their email address. And we'll see that the list will come up and I can invite. You can have up to 20 teachers in one classroom. I find we're never really putting 20 teachers in one classroom, but this is also nice to be able to add perhaps a student teacher to your classroom, to be able to add a co-teacher to your classroom, or maybe even your learning coach or tech coach or an administrator, so that everyone is able to interact with the students and see what's happening in the classroom. For students, we can hit the share button and we can type the email address. We actually don't recommend doing that. It's a disservice to you every single time you have to type all of those email addresses. Really, we've done it with little kids as young as 5 years old, simply entering the 6-digit class code to be able to join the classroom. And so we find the inviting students is really for students who maybe are physically unable to type in that class code, or perhaps you're just putting in a new student quickly that day, but really our number one recommendation is to simply display that class code and have your students join. And I'm about to show you what that looks like with a demonstration account. So this is our class code. We can see it's super teeny tiny, and I have no control here. So I want to show you a couple of options that you have. Back on our home page, you'll notice that there is the About link here on the right-hand side of the banner. This really, again, just gives us that class code quickly and nothing else. And I can say display. I can even make it full screen, which is really nice to be able to have the kids be able to see it. Keep in mind, a class code is always lowercase letters and numbers. There will be no uppercase letters that the students have to try to put in. The other way to control your class code is to be able to hit this gear. We are going to go into the gear more depth in another video, but just know the class code is there. And this is where I can display it, just like I showed you. I can copy it. Perhaps I'm putting it into a document or inside on one of my Google sites. I can also reset it. This is a nice feature if you feel like the combination of letters and numbers is too difficult, or perhaps too similar to a possible bad word. I can just go ahead and give it a little reset. Or like this one, this is an LYN 9. Perhaps I don't want people to get confused by the number 1 and an L, so I can just reset it. You can keep going through and just resetting that until you get a code that you feel works a little bit better for you and your students. It's also nice if you have a code out there and you don't want other kids to still be using it, then they can't, because now that code doesn't work. So we're going to display that class code for my student who is about to join. This is my student account, our demonstration student account, and I'm going to go ahead. What your students would do is hit the plus button. They're going to say join class. They're going to put in that code and join. And instantly they will be enrolled in that classroom, and they're going to right away see that there is the stream with their announcements. They'll be able to see that they have no classwork yet, and they'll be able to see their teachers and of course their classmates. So now you can see that we have, of course, I'm the teacher. I've invited Danny as a teacher. I can see I have my student in here. Also, I can include guardian emails if I'd like. That's simply a summary for what's happening in the classroom. It's not actually an invitation for the parents to be inside of your classroom. So that's it. People tab is simple and one place to look at everybody who has any permissions or interaction in your classroom. Now, let's say that you have a student who perhaps is going to be leaving your classroom. It's very simple to be able to unenroll. I can select that student and I have an Actions tab, and I can simply remove that child. Note that email, any of the email functions within Google Classroom do not work because we do not have Gmail enabled as part of Edmonton Catholic Schools. You'd have to do that through Outlook. Mute we're going to talk about when we talk about our class settings, but what that does is it prevents my demo student from being able to participate in the class comments or discussions. Perhaps I have a student who's just having a little bit difficulty with that right now. I don't want to take away posts and comments from my entire class, so I'm just going to mute that student and we'll work on that communication together. That's it. People unraveled. So good luck entering your teachers and your students into your classroom. If you have any questions, please just give me an email.